Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome back to your ITFC live fan reaction following Port Vale 2, Ipswich Town 3. A test for the heart there this evening. We didn't make it easy on ourselves, and as Adam Blandplate kicks us off, Town don't like giving us all an easy night, do they? No, they certainly do not. But this is the part of the show where we hand it over to you guys and girls, as we do on the platform for the fan, by the fan of ITFC, to have your say in whatever way you want to say it. Say it tonight on Talking Town. Was it a character test? Was it naive in places? Who performed well? Was it a let-off? It's 3 points in the bag. It's 3 goals. It's 2 conceded. And here is your league table as we go into the evening. Ipswich Town now in second place. Well, I should say still in second place, 36. Plymouth coming back from a goal down to win 2-1 at home. But as Jordan on Twitter said, if we do what we need to do, who cares what Plymouth do? And we did it tonight. Wednesday play tomorrow night. That could be 6 points by the show tomorrow evening. It could be 3. Who knows? But we have done our job. And as I said, this is a chance for you to have your say. Live chat, live link. Do get involved. There's some comments coming in at the moment. There's Chris Boyd, 15 minutes of injury time, 8 at half time, 7 at full time. The rest, the ref must have had a bit, 15 minutes. I mean, you know, the commentator wasn't a big fan, was he, of substitutions in the injury time minutes? But we did it. We came through. Good to see Burgess on the field, by the way. Rob Smith, wow, we made havoc of that. We lose so many aerial duels. Port Vale worked hard to their credit. Humphreys was immense, says Norman. Good evening, David. Hope you are well. Mike, great result. Humphreys man the match said ages ago, where the sea is not ready. Leave to those who know. Okay, Mike. When do you start doing that? Joe, what a win that was. Without Morrissey and Evans, I would say it's one of the best wins of the season. Port Vale was a very difficult game. Yeah, we came into it undermanned, of course. You know, Evans and Morrissey not playing. So we came through it really well. Stephen Thompson, welcome back. Town 3, Port Vale 2, a town test of the heart. What do you make of the game?
It wasn't pretty. It wasn't our prettiest. It wasn't the most fluid. It wasn't the most convincing. I'm not going to argue with the result. You know, I'd rather have a scruffy win than a pretty loss, I suppose.
Yeah,
but,
scruffy win than a pretty loss. A win's a win, isn't it?
Yeah, I was getting a bit concerned. 2 very quick goals. You know, obviously just before half-time, just after half-time for them. I was getting rather concerned because they were starting to sort of dig in and get a bit of the edge. They're a good team. You know, to be fair, they were always right there. As soon as one of the Town players was on the ball, there's 2, 3 of them around them. So, yeah, scruffy, but I'll take it.
Scruffy, but we will take it every day. I'll take a Town win every day of the day, particularly on a day where we do play. So, key moment of the game. What stood out to you as you watched the 90 minutes? Where was the key moment for you?
I think the key moment, it would have been that first Town goal. Because it was a slow start. You know, Port Vale, I think, had the edge at the start. They were, I think, better than I thought they would be, probably than I gave them credit for. And the first goal from Freddie, yeah, sort of changed it a little bit. And then obviously a few minutes later, Karen Humphreys, great performance by him. I think we really started to dig in then. I think that first goal was the sort of the first big moment, I think.
You were right on the pre-game show. You did say 3 goals for Town. You didn't have the 2 for Port Vale, 3-2.
No.
And on the Discord channel, Lee Anderson made a great point. He said, we just need to keep it after half-time at 2-1, weather the storm, and we'll come through it. And within a couple of minutes, Town had conceded in classic Town fashion. Did you at that point in time think, oh, no, here we go?
I could tell what was coming. I could see it. It was going to be 2-2 until like the 95th minute, and they would get a 3rd goal, and they would nick all 3 points. I could just see it happening. But, dug in, got a 3rd, another sort of scruffy goal. Bit of a tap in for Freddie, but no doubt I'll do wonders for his confidence.
Hey, Dapo with a brace. That's brilliant for his confidence, right? As Joe says here, the Dapo, brilliant. Exactly what we've been missing. Ala Lincoln, a poacher in the box.
Yeah, that's what you need. I don't care if he poaches a goal or if he scores an absolute worldie, as long as he gets us the goals. And he got 2 two decent efforts tonight. So, well, one was obviously a clear poach, but yeah, who cares? It got us 3 points, and he was there when we needed him.
Max freely showing Jackson how to score. Clearly, in my mind, who's our best striker. All right. And Mighty Fishman does forget in the box. We've been asking for that for all season. Elliot, did Humphries get the assist for the third? I think he did. You mentioned Chaplin before the game, Steve. How did you see his performance before we bring Phil Blundell on?
It was quiet, not obviously a man of the match, but didn't seem as on it today or tonight. He sort of popped up every now and then. Nothing he did really stood out for me. I've no doubt he works hard, but a bit of an anonymous game. I wasn't surprised to see him subbed off towards the end. He was a bit of I don't want to say a letdown, but he was a bit too quiet for me, really.
Okay, too quiet for you, but you don't want to stretch it too far and say he was a letdown. AD says, please for Humphries, great goal, good performance by the lad. And Andy says, we knew Freddie gets his goals in the 6-yard box. Was that Freddie Ladapo's best performance for you, Steve?
I would say one off. Yeah, he made some good runs. He was working hard, a couple of goals. More of that would be ideal. Like I say, I don't care if he's poaching goals left, right, and centre, if he's scoring absolute screamers. I want him to get goals, do what strikers do. Get his confidence up as well, work hard, and I think we saw a good bit of progress tonight from him.
Perfect. Steve, have a great evening, my man. Look after yourself. Thanks for being with me this evening. Phil, I've got a comment from Harps here. Ball was surprisingly sloppy tonight. How did you see Disco Dom?
I tended to agree with that because some of this, attempted through balls tonight just went straight to the opposition. And he was a bit sloppy on the ball. Disco Dom on the ball was a bit sloppy on the ball.
No, he was at times. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But like kind of Chaplin, I guess. When you try and break those forward progressive passes, they're either going to come off and you're going to look absolutely out of this world, or you're going to look a bit silly. You want the progressiveness in your team, Phil, but sometimes it's the areas in which you're trying to do it in. Yeah.
I would say, I've got to say, Humphries took his goal so well tonight.
Great half volley, yeah.
Brilliant goal. After the Colchester game back in August, I thought he looked out of his depth, but he showed me tonight.
How did you see his overall performance? Obviously, half volley, great goal. That will take the headlines, but obviously, when you're playing in midfield, there's a lot of stuff that goes unnoticed. A lot of stuff that if you drill in on the game. How did you see his overall performance outside of the goal?
I thought he did very well tonight, and I think that goal will give his confidence a world of good. Going into the next game. Tonight, on his debut, getting the goal when he did, and he looked so in place in that team tonight. No worries about cover for Morsey or Evans moving forward. Him and Ball did well tonight. They
did. They grew into it. I felt particularly, Don Ball, as you said at the start of the show, you came in there a little bit sloppy in places. Stephen says, credit to Port Vale, pressed us. We were a weaker team. We got 3 points. Who the hell cares how we did it? Good point. Always take that. Cure says Edwards was excellent. Dropped the defenders brilliantly. A real threat. How did you see Ladapo's? I asked Steve there. Was it his best performance in a town shirt? Was it your best? Was it not your best performance? Was it Ladapo's best performance for you in a town shirt this evening?
I think for me, in front of the, watching him in front of the camera tonight, I think that he shone where he needed to shine by getting goals. Is what he's lacked all season so far, and to get two tonight, did the team well tonight. Was it his best game in a town shirt? I think personally, we can see more of him. I think that probably wasn't his best performance. I like to think that he can do even better than what he did tonight. But the two goals tonight, again, confidence is a lot in this game, and moving into the weekend, if he plays, he's going to be feeling very well placed going into the weekend.
Do you think the wide pitch would have helped Ladapo tonight in the sense of there was a lot more space and suddenly we're for a team that we don't often we're getting the service to him inside the 6-yard box. He had a couple there inside the 6-yard box and he put them away. That's what he does best.
Yeah, I think he showed tonight where he performs best like Ian Atkins was saying on the commentary tonight, like Gary Lineker, he wasn't very good at everything else, but he was very good at putting the ball into the back of the net. And I like to think that if we play like that, more away from home, then when Ladapo plays, he's going to be a real threat in the 6-yard box. And I think the first goal in particular tonight, when Davis fed him through to the left-hand side, Ladapo was exactly where we needed him to be, right on and goal. And getting that first goal was crucial, I think, for me tonight. The second goal by Humphries, like I said, I jumped out of my seat when he scored that. I thought that he was going to absolutely sky it when he smacked it, but no, that went straight into the bottom left-hand corner. Great technique. That is not an easy thing to do, to hit a bouncing, bobbling ball on a half volley, and he struck it so well.
He really did. David, €10. Thank you very much, David. I really appreciate that. Thank you, and thank you again. Phil, before I bring in Mr. Lee Anderson, who was your man of the match tonight?
Oh, God. I'm going to say, for me, the first half, Davis impressed me. I think second half, it was a bit of a more all-round performance by the lads. Burns played well in the second half, I thought. Edwards played well. They all played their part, but...
don't sit on that fence, Phil. We don't like fence sitters here on Talking Town.
I think for me, tonight, just for tonight, I was going to give it to Ladapo.
Love it. Love it, Phil. Why not? The guy gets himself 2 goals. He was one Luke Chambers ear cup away from making it a magical night, let's be honest. But Phil, we appreciate you coming on. Look after yourself. Hopefully speak again very soon.
Cheers.
All the best. Mr. Lee Anderson, welcome in. What are your thoughts on tonight's 3 points of banana skin? Neil Perks was dreading before the game.
They're all banana skins, aren't they? But I tell you what, I was sitting there, and at 2-0, I'm thinking, here we go. And then we shoot ourselves in the foot twice. Let's be honest, twice. But then I'm thinking, we're 3-2 up, and I'm sitting there watching the game. Then I'm thinking back to like last season, and I'm thinking back to like 4-1 at Wickham, 4-0 at Portsmouth.
Good times.
Where did it get us? It didn't get us up. It got us to 6 points. Don't get me wrong. But tonight we ground it out, and we got the result. And that is the sign. That is the sign that we're on the move up, and that's what pleased me the most about tonight's game, I think. But they were there for the taking. Their commentary was awful, just awful most of the time. But
that's that wonky stickly.
Yeah, that's that wonky stick. But I mean, there we go. But I mean, hats off to Humphries. There'll be a lot of people to be singing his praises tonight, and quite rightly so. But
can I just ask you there, Lee? Because Mike said Morsey and Humphries, surely.
I think, look, we are blessed in this league with the best squad in League One, without doubt. And I said it last year, and I'll say it again this year. We are. With Humphries, first 10 minutes, he really got intimidated, and he didn't have time on the ball. But he rode through that, and that's a sign of a player that didn't shine away.
I agree.
But said that, we've got to think sometimes he's still 18, right? And the commentators alluded to that, say, look, how young he is and such like. But he took that goal well. I'm not sure that Morsey could score that particular goal that Humphrey scored, but Morsey comes straight back into the side. Humphries is a player that we need to nurture and look after. Remember Jason Dizelle, Mr. Mike Brown. Remember what you said about, remember how he was when he first burst onto the scene. I said he'd be a Premier League player. You disagree. The same thing could happen to Humphries. But we have to just nurture him. We've got McKenna who knows what to do with him. He'll play at the right times. And I'm sure he's got a great future. But we've got to keep his feet on the ground. And I'm sure he will. He's a good lad. I've sat in front of his parents, Crystal Palace last season. The parents look really grounded with everything. Let's just hope he develops. But let's not put a tag on him to say he's our saviour, because we have a really good squad at this level, and he needs to just keep that carrot in front of him, just Just keep him nurtured. Just keep him on level, which I'm sure he will be, but play him at the right times. But people, I mean, I thought we missed Evans tonight. And going back to the previous comments about Don Ball, there was a couple of times he was a bit sloppy on the ball. There was a couple of times he gave the ball away in areas when you didn't want him to, but, you know, I suppose that's the game and the way they pressed. But we've got strength in depth, but our squad is on its limits. It's on its limits. We can't afford any more injuries.
No,
you know,
not in the key areas like midfield.
Yeah, especially to be able to bring on the players that we did, you know, second half. We've got a strong bench, but that bench is now pretty much exhausted. So we've just got to keep our fingers crossed.
Certainly getting that way.
But it's another game ticked off. It's another 3 points. Have results gone away? I think so. I don't know.
Well, Plymouth came back to win in the end, but we're still second, 6 points ahead of Wednesday, who play tomorrow night. So, you know, Portsmouth, I think, got beat again, though.
Yeah, but we just keep winning, don't we? And, you know, I suppose really we can look at other results, but it's about what we do. It's about what we do and how we perform. And as I say, we're miles ahead of where we were last season. Miles ahead.
Yeah, I think you might actually be right with the best squad in League One this year, potentially after this many games. Who's your player of the match before I bring in the Cruncher, who was at the stadium? Then Ipswich. Mark, who's your man of the match?
It was good talk about Ladapo. He was in the right place at the right time for the goals. But I've seen his all-round game better in previous games. I think he's had games where his all-round game is better, but he's paid to score 2 goals, so credit to him. But I know I've tried to bring him down a bit, but you've got to give it to Humphreys. I think he was chasing the ball towards the end of the game, and he was just chasing. I think, you know, for an 18-year-old coming to his first league start, man of the match, assist, maybe 2 assists, one assist was definitely involved, I think, in the second goal. But just a short, so I would say it needs to go to Humphreys, but just a shout out for Carl Edwards, and the absolute most skillfulest player on the pitch by a country mile. Some of those turns and some of those drop of the shoulders he did, absolutely fantastic. We need to nurture him. He will be the guy that takes us up. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it.
He'll be the guy that takes us up. Mr. Lee Anderson, that is a comment. I'm going to clip that up, son.
Yeah, clip it up.
We'll talk again soon. Thank you for popping on this evening.
Cheers.
Look after yourself. Cruncher at the stadium. Well, in the car now. Here he is.
Come on, the boys.
Player pathway. Talk to me.
Yes, player pathway. We just had some knobhead trying to barge into the lads outside the ground, like 14 and 11 and 17-year-olds, and there's some Port Vale fan giving it the big one. But listen, I didn't think we played that well tonight, Martin. We're a bit sloppy, I thought, early on, and then listen. It shows what a good side we are. Literally, we played for 5 minutes in the first half and scored 2 goals. Should really have gone in and 2-0, and it should have been. Look, it should have been a comfortable night, but we make things difficult for ourselves. We give them a goal. We give another goal away from a set piece, which, like I'd put in the WhatsApp group, that's our Achilles heel, Martin. Continues to be, but then showed a good reaction, and then literally, what was it, 5 minutes later, Humphreys again, good cross, little deflection. Freddie's there to bag himself a brace, and look, they're not a bad side, Port Vale. They'll take some points off teams at Vale Park this season. They're quite physical, but I think they've got some players who can play. Yeah, they can play football as well, but they have got literally. How far can that bloke? I don't know what his name was. The guy who's taking the long throws. Fuck me. How far was he throwing that ball? Jesus.
Like a javelin, wasn't it? It was going some distance. It really was. All these sort of teams have a long throw specialist, but I think you're right. We weren't at our best for long periods of that game, and is it an Achilles heel that will ultimately really hurt our season? Do you think set pieces?
It might not hurt us, Martin, because obviously we scored 3 goals tonight, but it's something that I think we need to eradicate from our game. You know, I'll see it on the replay. I think it was Don Ball missed his header, didn't he? When it came in from the corner. Yes, and then, sure what he was doing. Still, the centre half, he's got a lot of time to bring it down and then lash it in with his right foot. And you think, didn't we? Like, we're all chatting at half time, look, come out, keep it tight for the first 10, 15, or get a third goal, and then literally within 2 minutes, they're back in the game, and you're thinking, oh, bloody hell, here we go. But listen, we've got the 3 points. You know, we've done the job, Martin. It's a tough place to come. Tuesday night, 1,700 Town fans made a really good noise. And listen, it's another 3 points on the way to hopefully where we want to be at the end of the season, and that's getting out of this league. Look, it's a bit disappointing when you look at Plymouth. We're losing, but like I said to Colin, just do your own stuff. You know, that's all you can do, innit? Take care of your own business, and then if some results go your way along the way, look, fair enough. But it's another win. And then we go to the Valley on Saturday, another place where I think we can pick up another 3 points, Martin. They lost at home to MK tonight, 2-0.
They did.
So,
yeah.
But he's got some interesting selections in the middle of the park, hasn't he, now?
Has he? Because I mean, Mike the Fisherman has said from now on it's got to be Humphreys and Morsey. That seems a little premature for me. How about you?
Listen, it was really nice tonight at the end there. They all come over to the fans, and they were all pushing Humphreys forward. And they were loving it, and he was loving it. Look, and it's great, isn't it, that we've got a player come through the academy and he's shone tonight. But they did try the first 10, 15 minutes, they tried to rough him up, didn't they?
Well, I've got in my notes here, welcome to the EFL by Val on Humphreys. Because
but they're going to, aren't they?
First couple of minutes, they went
and you've got a young lad making his league debut. You think, you're going to say, go on, get stuck into him, kick him up in the air a couple of times, see what he's got, see what he comes back with. And listen, great goal, great technique to bang that one in. And then look, the second goal, the third goal, he was involved, put the cross in, didn't he? So look, a goal and an assist, Martin. I said to Colin, and I think I might have said it on Saturday's show, all he can do, Humphreys, was come in tonight and be the best Town player. And he probably was. He'll probably get a man in a match for that one. So
just losing you a little bit there, Cruncher. Sorry, mate. The signal in Val has decided to drop itself out. They've said you've got your 3 points now off home. But appreciate you coming on the platform there. $7.99 from Nathan Hall says Cameron Humphreys was excellent, and he really was. David says, hope to get to meet you in March or April. Fisherman, hey, David, you're coming down. Don't forget to say hello to ourselves. Super Hum says Cruncher live from Potato at the end there. So versatile potatoes, particularly when you make them with chips. Always good. Louis Fenn, let's not forget we have Kamara now on the bench tonight. I'm sure he'll start at some point. Norman, when Humphreys bulks up, he'll be one of a hell of a player. He certainly will. Ipswich Mark, all the way from the Emerald Sea. How are you, my man? You must be very excited over there.
Emerald, that was fantastic. It was another good win, wasn't it? Good.
Another great win.
Very nervy start to the game. Good, very nervy 20 minutes. And then we scored, I wouldn't say out of the blue, but we scored 2 goals when we weren't expecting them. So it was fantastic to go in, which I thought was at halftime 2-0. Then out of the blue, we fucking threw it away nearly again. But no, it was good. It was a hard game. You can't win them all. But today, for a while, I thought the old Ipswich was turning up again, but only for a few minutes. But no, we done fantastic. I'm delighted with the win.
You said there was a hard game. Did you expect such a hard game? Do you think it was more of our own doing, or have you got to give full credit to Port Vale? Because for me, I think a lot of our own issues were shooting ourselves in the foot, to be honest.
Yeah, it sort of reminded me a little bit the start of when I went over to the Lincoln game. I thought the players just maybe weren't expecting Port Vale to maybe come out of the blocks as quick as they did. But again, after we did continue to play our own game, and when we did, the goals did come, which I knew they would. I didn't think too much of Port Vale. I always knew that we could beat them. We just have to believe in it, and we did. It was 2-0 up. It could have been 3 or 4-0 really, but we let them back into it. So both half-time tea talks were different. So they came out, and once we probably went for the jugular second half, and they equalised, which was basically wasn't on the script. But then fair play to us, we came back really, really quickly. And once we got the third goal, I never thought we'd lose it anyway. It's always a bit nervy.
No, I didn't either, to be fair, actually. Once we got ourselves back in front, I did think we would perhaps, particularly with the bench and the depth coming off the bench. Joe says here, Davis, again, very good. What a left back we have on our hands. He's not had enough chat about him tonight. How did you see Leaf's performance this evening?
For me, he was my man of the match. He reminds me a bit of like last season. All the balls were all on the far side, Evans and Donatien last season. But all this year it seems to be Davis is whacking those. But I think it's fantastic player. Really, really will 100% be in our team next year in the championship. Yeah, I think he's brilliant. Really did.
One of my favourite moments of the game tonight, Mark, was when it was in the dying embers of the game, and we're doing Shithouse FC, which I'm so glad we've picked up on from other clubs. And Leif Davis tells the Port Vale Ultras just to sit back down, just sit back down, just sit back down. I absolutely love that. Absolutely, that's the sort of thing you want to see. You know, you're away from home, 3 goals, 3 points, and you're telling their fans just sit down, shut up, will you?
100%.
He's a Rolls Royce.
He's probably getting up the wing all night long off them, so it's probably nice to give them the salute.
Well, this is it. And if you're going to get stick, you're going to get it back, right or wrong. Harps, I was happy when Keogh came on, and great to see Burgess back in action, mask and all. Who was your man of the match, Mark?
I thought Davis, but a very notable thing for Humphreys was super tonight. He was up and down that pitch. He was like not quite a box-to-box midfielder, but he was really, really good. He's a bit lightweight, but he will come on. At the moment, he'd be trying to come in if anything happened to Morrissey or Evans. It'd be actually interesting to see him in a competitive game with Morrissey or Evans, but I wouldn't drop either of them at the moment. But you know, he was fantastic. He done a lot better than I thought he would. But no, it was fantastic goal. You know, again, fair play to him for having a shot, because sometimes all our players don't take those chances. Just they always want to pass in the perfect goal. No, fair play to him. Brilliant.
Is it fair to say that Humphreys outperformed Disco Dom tonight?
100%. For me, he was quite invisible. Dom ball, very invisible. I don't know what I was expecting him to take, maybe the ball by the scruff of it, but he didn't. You know, he just didn't tonight. He's probably done his job all right. It's hard to tell from the I follow couch, as they say, but he dug off the ball and all that stuff. I'm sure I'll be told, Hunter or somebody else that he was brilliant. But he looked, you know, he wasn't the midfielder who stood out. Oddly enough, I did think we missed our midfield tonight. You know, we really did. So hopefully we don't have to lose them for too many games this season, you know.
Perfect. Mark, appreciate you coming on, my man. It's been a busier show than I expected. Look after yourself and stay smiling.
Go on, be good. Talk to you soon.
All the best. We've got Keith Dono, Davidson Edwards on the left, and JD Burns on the right. Ouch. It's definitely the way out of this league for me. Lee said we just need to keep going, whether we play well or not. It's all about points, and we are doing great at the moment. We may get hiccups on the way, but we keep going. We will win this division. Do you see us winning this league, Mr. Neil Moles?
It'd be nice. We're performing well, so yeah.
It's not why I asked you. I'll ask you again. Do you see us winning the division? Are we good enough to win the division, in your opinion?
Against the top teams, not always.
Fair point. Fair point. Because I mean, we've done all right with the top teams. Portsmouth are starting to fall away, admittedly. Plymouth only are, one of 2 defeats this year. You mentioned Edwards at the start of the show. You said a 4-1 win. You weren't a million miles away, to be fair. But you mentioned Edwards as a player we will be talking about. We have been. How did you see Kyle Edwards' game this evening, Mr. Moles?
He was good. Some cracking runs and the effort he put in. Yeah, it was brilliant to see.
What, is he going to be a player that wins us promotion as Lee Anderson said a little while ago? This is a man we're going to hang our hat on, and he'll be the difference between winning promotion and not winning promotion. Are you quite ready there to say that yet, Neil?
Not quite, not at this stage, but it's good to see how he's progressed and from what he was when he first played for us and what he is now. And if he just carries on from there, I believe the guy will be correct on that. He is a quality player.
Talking of quality, admittedly, in some people's opinions, one night only. Freddie Ladapo got 2 goals. Cameron Humphreys with a half volley. Break their performance down for me. First of all, Cameron Humphreys. I asked a little while ago, did he outperform Disco Dom? I was told yes by Mark. Did you think that? Did you think that as well?
I don't think it was as clear as day as others have mentioned, but I believe he was better than Ball today.
When we say better than Ball, was Ball not as good as we thought? Was Ball sloppy in possession? What about Ball's performance tonight? You know, take the goal away. The goal is a special goal. Take the goal away from him. What about Ball's performance? Perhaps wasn't as good as a Humphreys, say.
I'm not sure I agree entirely on Ball being really poor in possession. For me, it was more of him in the defensive roles. There was that missed header and all sorts that went on. And there was just a few moments like that where you think in previous games we would have mopped it up a little bit better. So it wouldn't have continued in play and we possibly wouldn't have conceded in the same way.
Yeah. 19 points out of 21 Colin's seen this year, apparently. Not too bad, is it? That makes going home and away quite worthwhile. Who was your player of the game then, Neil, before I bring in our king of sarcasm?
I think it was Davis. He had a brilliant game, up and down, and top quality.
Good man. Neil, appreciate you coming on this evening. Appreciate your help throughout the course of the evening. Been a big, busy than expected show, so apologies for,
You're right.
Putting you on where I've managed to slot you in there. But do you think Town will beat Charlton before I let you go?
I think so.
Yeah? Score prediction?
2-1.
2-1. Good man. Look after yourself and enjoy the Heathrow Express tomorrow.
Thanks.
Look after yourself. Always a pleasure to talk to Neil. Never too high, never too low. That's why we love our Mr. Positivity. Keeps our feet firmly on the ground. It's only game 16, ladies and gentlemen. Max Wardley, someone's got to be the scapegoat, and it's balls. Max, no. Norman, our best start to a season in 70 years. Can we start enjoying the journey? I don't know, Norman. They don't make it easy for us, do they? Let's be honest. 380 people watching us live. Hit the like button or the thumbs up button, whichever platform you're watching on. Hit the button that says you like the show. Edwards, very good again tonight. Another very average at best performance from Burns. He never skins his man. One huge chance on breaking. He messed it up. Also could argue, didn't track the man well enough for the goal. I'd have to watch it back to really get a handle on what happened on that. I think it was the second goal. I mean, the first. Andy Barrell, and I repeat, the most rewarding about this season is the choice of man of the match or man of the match for the month. Yeah, absolutely. There's multiple people we could certainly choose from. That's the interesting part. King of sarcasm. Listen, great night for Town, albeit one we made a mountain out of a molehill. How did you see the game?
It was, a little bit tense to start, and then it was lovely. That was nice. About 10 minutes or so, didn't we have? We're coasting through injury time, nothing to worry about. Always a hopeful ball from the left, and to be fair, everyone switched off in the box. It wasn't just, and I think Wolfie put Don Ball off. He sort of jumped but didn't really jump, and I think Ball thought he was going to cover it, and then when it goes to Gavin Massey, who, to be fair, he's played in the Championship. He ain't a bad player, so it was a steady little finish. I think I never saw that Ellis Harrison play for us when we had him a few years ago. I think he put himself about quite well.
He's very good.
He's a good player for them in this level. Not a bad player at all. I think you have to give a bit of respect to Port Vale. They went at it. They played some sluggish, like Stoke mid-2000 stuff. But then, when we sat back in the second half, they brought it to us and actually passed it around quite nicely. But we won. And Cameron Humphreys was terrific. I think he's daring. He's not afraid to get on the ball, to try things, to spray it around. I tweeted that there was a point on that left-hand side when you had him, you had Leif Davis, and of course Kyle Edwards, and they were just magic for about 10, 15, 20 minutes. They were terrifying. And it's lovely to see that over on the left when last season, if we took it over to the left and it were, well, the likes of Matt Penny and co, it wasn't all that scary for defences, was it? So it just...
It's funny you mentioned Matt Penny, because I've got Lewis on the tomorrow night show at 8:30 with myself and Coxie. Obviously, Penny's super agent there. €5 from David. Can we get some goat emojis in the chat for David? David, the absolute goat of Talking Town. We love it. Norman, Port Vale beat Derby a few weeks ago. They're a good team, Owen.
Yeah, as I say, they weren't slouches. They kept going. They're gonna pick up a fair few points against your top tens this season, who aren't going to expect it because they're not going to look at how these performances go, the fan base anyway. They're just going to see, oh yeah, Ipswich won at Port Vale, that should happen. And then when they rock up there, they're going to have a bit of a nasty surprise. And was he called Jones, who were doing those long throws? That wasn't those plodding, hopeful ones. He was getting some traction on them. It were like, oh, they were scary. And I think our centre-backs got a bit bullied throughout the game because they've got some big lumps. So that was maybe a little bit of a concern. So it's nice to see Burgess back, because I think against certain teams, we're going to need Burgess and Edmondson in the same team, rather than your two more ball-playing ones and one or the other. Maybe even a back three of Keogh, Burgess and Edmondson at some point, just so we can head that ball away and not head it to the edge of the area every time, which terrified me.
Yeah, it's good to see Burgess back. You're absolutely right there. Hearts, we want indeed. We have to start learning how to defend. Every mediocre team, leadership will now bombard our box and be rewarded. Owen, as we ran up the show, we've had Edwards, Ladapo, Humphreys, Davies. Give me a man of the match. Not called one of those four names, please.
Well, that's a bit tricky. I mean, you've seen what my name is tonight.
There's still some more players to choose from.
Do you know what? No one else really impressed me that much. Those were the ones who I think did the job. I think Wolfie was disappointing. Thought Ball was poor. I'll give it to. I'll give it to Burns if I can't have any of those four, purely because I don't think he stopped. I know he switched off a bit defensively at one point, but you've taken the four best ones off me. And
sorry.
He skinned their defence a fair few times. It was just a final ball, wasn't quite there, and he probably should have scored his goal. But there you go. I'll give you Wesley, the Welsh wizard Burns, who's off to the World Cup, and Wales are going to win it.
And as Josh Russell has disappeared off the bottom of the screen, I'll ask you this next question: are we in for another 9-point wink? Asked Rax.
Wink.
Week. Sorry, it's getting late. It's getting late. The guy's getting tired.
Do you know why not? If they can't beat MK Dons, and MK Dons are out to write home about. So I'm going to say yes, we will win. We'll make hard work of it, but we'll win 3-2 again. Perfect.
Owen, appreciate you coming on. Thank you ever so much. Look after yourself. We will speak soon.
Thank you for having me.
No, my pleasure. Look after yourself. So just to recap, there is your league table this evening. Ipswich Town in second, 36 points, 2 behind Plymouth. Wednesday play tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing how they progress, see how they go down. You never know. This time tomorrow night, it could be ever so sweet, a 6-point gap with them having played. We are live tomorrow at 8:30 with Lewis, Coxey and myself looking ahead to Charlton. We'll offer more reaction. I've written 4 items down already. Wolf and Edmondson, Humphreys, set pieces, Ladapo, and of course anything else that you guys and girls want to talk about. It is your platform to have your say. And then of course we'll look ahead to Charlton. Roy Clark, the National, lucky not to consider penalty when he had of Harrison's shirt. Good comment, Roy. I'd have to go back and look at it again, but from first view, it certainly looked like a decision that went in our favour, which, isn't often we can say. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, join us on YouTube or Ko-Fi for Standards. But thank you all so much for watching us. Ever so close to 400 live viewers. Incredible scenes. And they say, things only pick up when negativity swells. Well, you've proved that wrong, because Ipswich Town have won this evening 3-2 away at Port Vale. This has been Talking Town. I am your host, the Gov. Hit the like button, and I'll see you all tomorrow, 8:30. Town in second. And as we say, up and down.
chills running down my neck. I'm going crazy from just the thought of you.